Hi everyone, my name is Amber and I don't think I've ever had a TBR that is this ambitious. I have gone a bit wild. There is a reason for this. Basically, I told myself that by the end of the year I had to get my TBR down to a certain number, and I will share that number in a different video because I don't want to talk about it right now. And I'm not doing very well because I keep buying books, so I need to get through about 16 of my own TBR books this month in October in order to meet my goal, especially because November I'm going to be traveling for 11 days, so I'm not going to have loads of reading time, so I need to bulk read in October to meet my goal. And I also have a whole list of things I need to read by the end of the year, which I spoke about in another video. So yeah, I need to do some intense reading and I'm really excited about it. This isn't stressing me out, just to put it out there. Don't worry, I haven't gone wild and stressed myself out. I'm actually quite excited about the idea of reading so much. So I have about 16 books here to show you. There may be more because I do definitely have 2 books I don't have physical copies of yet, and I do have some library holds coming in for books that I previously requested on NetGalley that I decided to get in physical formats because I'm struggling to read ebooks. So this is not like a set TBR, this is just something that I'm using to guide myself while I try to read as many books as possible from my own bookshelves. I'll stop rambling now because this intro is going on for ages. Let's go. Okay, so starting off with the most intimidating one on my shelf, I think. I have Oathbringer Part 1. This is specifically Part 1. I'm not reading Part 2 in October because I think I would die. I just want to start this bloody book because I've been meaning to for ages. My friend Cassidy got this for me for my birthday a couple of years ago, and I told myself that I was going to catch up with the series before Rhythm of War came out, and I didn't. So now I need to read this by the end of the year, and probably Rhythm of War as well, but I'm not holding myself to that. So this is the 3rd book in the Stormlight Archive, which is a adult fantasy series focusing on various different characters. But the first one, the main character is definitely a guy called Kaladin, who was sent off to war, and then things didn't go too well for him and he was enslaved, and he had to go and work on a bridge crew. I don't know if you guys already all know what this series is about, but I thought I would tell you something anyway because a lot of people just assume, and I didn't want to do that. So yeah, Kaladin goes to work with this bridge crew, which is literally a crew of slaves and prisoners who have to carry a massive bridge so that people can cross over different chasms and fight a war. So this is book 3, which I think focuses mostly on Dalinar, who is one of my favourite characters, and after the way the Warbreaker, it's not the book, Words of Radiance ended with Adolin doing things. I'm really excited for this one. I hope Adolin and Kaladin have some really cool moments again because I may or may not ship them. I have a few thriller books that I want to read in October because it's like spooky month and I'm really in the mood for it. And also Dewey's 24-hour readathon is happening I think on the 22nd of October, which is a Saturday. So I tend to read thrillers for that because it just makes the most sense. So first of all, I have The It Girl by Ruth Ware, which I've requested from the library, and I am like 5th in line. I'm hoping it comes in soon because I've been dying to read it. I also want to get Exiles by Jane Harper, which is coming out the day that I'm recording this, but also that's only in Australia, so I'm hoping I can get a copy of the ebook via Amazon of the Australian edition and read that. If not, I'll have to wait until January when it comes out in the UK. So those are 2 ebooks that I'm planning to read. I also have a couple of physical books. The first one is The Family Next Door by Sally Hepworth. I don't think I've hauled this one yet. I read a book by Sally Hepworth a while back and really loved it, and then I put another one of her books on pause. So she seems to be a very hit and miss author for me at the moment, but I'm hoping I enjoy this one. I don't know what this thriller is about. The main character Isabel is husbandless and child free. She captures the attention of 3 Pleasant Court mothers. So I guess there's a new person in the neighbourhood and the 3 women like gossip about her and, you know, don't welcome her to the neighbourhood. And then we have Such a Quiet Place by Megan Miranda, which is another domestic thriller. I gave a Megan Miranda book 5 stars recently actually. I don't know if I'm going to love this one. This one came out last year I think from her. But again, this is another like neighbourhood book where everyone has secrets. So I'm looking forward to reading those 2. I'll probably read them for Dewey's 24-hour readathon unless like the mood takes me, and then I'll find something else to read for the readathon instead. I have another chunky book that I really want to read, and that is Caliban's War by James S.A. Corey. This is the 2nd book in the Expanse series. I started this series about 3 years ago now because I wanted to read it before I watched the show, and then I just never carried on with either the show or the book series. So I don't know if this book follows the same people as the first one. It does mention Jim Holden, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen in this one because in the first one some stuff was going on around Venus. I don't want to spoil you, but yeah, I'm really in the mood for some sci-fi, and I'm thinking this will be like an alien virus sort of sci-fi, so that's good. I also want to give A Torch Against the Night a go. I reread An Ember in the Ashes recently, about a year ago, and then didn't carry on with the series, which is exactly what happened the first time that I read An Ember in the Ashes. So I do want to try this one and see if I like it. I know that a lot of people were disappointed by the second and third books in this series. I don't know how everyone feels about the fourth book, so I don't know, I might not like it and I might end up unhauling it, but at least I will have tried. This is a YA fantasy series, by the way. It's about, I don't really know how to explain it. Yeah, it's like Roman inspired, I think. I also have Atonement, which is one that I've been meaning to read for years. I got it from a charity shop 10 years ago. I don't even know what it's about, so let's have a look. It's set in the summer of 1935, childhood friends, Cambridge. By the end of the day, the lives of all three friends will be changed forever. Something committed a crime. So I have no idea what it's about. Honestly, I thought this was set in Africa. Probably entirely wrong. I don't know. I'm gonna give it a go and see how I feel about it. It's one of my friend's favourite books, so I have high hopes, but I'm not entirely sure I will love it. But it's time to get it off my TBR because I did say that I would read it by the end of the year. I have a couple of old school YA books that I want to read as well. First one is Hereafter. This one is about ghosts. It's a YA paranormal. Don't know loads about it. Becca Fitzpatrick of Hush Hush fame blurbed it, which is brilliant. I did read the first chapter of this recently with in a try a chapter kind of thing. I didn't hate it, so I'm wondering if I'm going to enjoy this one. Yeah, no idea when I bought this one, but it came out in 2011. And I also have The Replacement by Brenna Yovanov, and I remember being disgusted by this cover. The US cover was so much better when this came out in probably like 2010, I think. Yeah, 2010. The US cover was brilliant, and then this was released in the UK. And can we just like mourn for me because I was disgusted. But yeah, this one is about, I think, a changeling. I don't know if the main character is meant to be a changeling or if the main character's sibling is a changeling, but I thought it would be nice and creepy for Halloween if I do enjoy it, so that's why I picked that one up. I have a couple of N.K. Jamison books because I'm trying to read them by the end of the year. Fingers crossed. The first one is The Obelisk Gates. I'm hoping to pick this one up early in October so I don't put myself off. I reread the 5th season in September. I'll talk about that in my wrap up, and loved it again. Yeah, I'm finally ready to carry on with this series. I have momentum now, and I'm going to take full advantage of it. I'm also going to read The City We Became because I need to recap it for recaptains because the second book is coming out in November, I think, early November. It just went up on NetGalley UK. This is something to do with a city having a soul and people protecting the soul, something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I hope I like it though. Apparently it's very different to the rest of her series. And then the other books are all kind of creepy, sort of horror-y paranormal books, I think. The first one is one that I got from a charity shop. It's called Pine. This one is a gothic thriller, which is apparently very chilling. Set in the Scottish Highlands, the main character's mother disappeared 10 years ago. A local teenager goes missing and a woman stumbles out onto the road one Halloween night. So yeah, it sounds quite good. I've been meaning to pick it up for quite a while. I'm glad that I found it in the charity shop, and I think it will be a good one for Halloween. Will that fit in there? Yes, it will. Then I also want to read The Devil and the Dark Water by Stuart Turton. This is the author of The Seven Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, which I loved. I gave it 5 stars, I think. I'm really excited for this one. I know that it's historical of some sort, and the main character is going via ship from the Netherlands to the UK. He's being transported to Amsterdam, for a crime he may or may not have committed. And then I think murders happen on the ship. So I'm here for that. I think it sounds fantastic. I got it like brand new from the charity shop, which was such a good find. I'm really excited for this one actually. I've just been putting it off in case I don't love it and I get nervous about my 5-star predictions. I also really want to read Bridge of Souls via audio because it's a really good middle grade series to listen to via audio. It's about ghosts and the main character can see and speak to ghosts, and she sort of travels around the world with her parents who are making a ghosty TV show, and she gets to sort of solve mysteries there and sort of release the ghosts and things. It's really cute. I really like it. So there's that one. And there's also The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein. This is by Kirsten White, who I don't have the best track record with. I didn't love any of her other books because I found her writing style to be very like overly quirky and try hard. Like, oh, look at me, I love pink, I'm not a normal girl. So yeah, I'm not sure about this one, but I found it in a charity shop for £1, so I thought I would give it a go. Oh god, I've just noticed that I'm missing another book. Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm so unprepared, I'm sorry. Then my memory card goes and runs out of battery, for God's sake. So another Kirsten White book that I have and want to read because I found it in a charity shop is Hyde. I think this is her first adult book, if I remember correctly, and it hasn't been getting great reviews. So I'm glad that I found it in a charity shop for a couple of quid because I'm not paying £15 for like a 3-star read, and also it's tiny. This is about, I think, a bunch of people who go to an abandoned amusement park and have to sort of survive there for 7 days as part of a competition. I don't know what they win if they do survive, but it just sounds fun. It sounds like a fun thriller for October, and also There's a map of the amusement park in the front cover, which I love. So really glad that I got this just for the like entertainment value that I'm going to get from it. Again, I'm not sure I'm going to love it because it's not been getting the best reviews, and also Kirsten White and me, we tend not to mesh, but for £2 or whatever this was, like, I can't complain, and I'm really hoping to enjoy it. We also have The Devil All the Time, which I picked up because I watched the film with Tom Hardy. No, Zendaya's boyfriend Tom. I can't remember his surname, this is so embarrassing. Yes, Zendaya's boyfriend is in this film, and it's actually a really, really good film. I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did, and my partner's dad got me this for my birthday last year, and October is such a good time to read this. There were several different storylines in the film. I don't know how that happens in the book though, so I don't want to accidentally spoil anything, but it's basically a story of religion messing with people in the South, and characters all kind of being interconnected without realizing how they actually are connected, kind of like Love Actually but horror, if that makes sense. I'm probably not describing this very well. And there's also a really creepy preacher guy who in the film is played by Robert Pattinson, and he was awful. I mean, he was a really good actor in it, but the character was horrendous. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he's depicted in this book. And then finally, I think, unless I've forgotten any other books, which is a possibility, I'm hoping to read Dreadnation by Justine Ireland. This is the first book in a horror duology. It's like historical horror. It's set just after the Civil War, and in it teenage girls are trained to fight zombies. And I can't remember, I did start this a while back, but I didn't get very far through. I got it from EW, from the publisher, and then decided to pick up my own copy because I want to recap it. I can't remember if the zombies are sort of like widespread, or if it's like a secret zombie situation, or if they came about because of the Civil War or something. I'm not entirely sure what the world building was, but I remember really enjoying the first few pages that I read, first few chapters, so I'm hoping I'm going to really, really enjoy this one. And then I can also read the sequel and knock another duology off my TBR, which would be lovely. And that is it. That's my October TBR. I don't know, like I said, I'm not going to be too sort of strict with it. If I feel like reading something else, or if other things come into my possession and I get more excited about those, I will swap things out. But if you have any ideas on what I definitely should read and could possibly review or vlog rather, then let me know. I think I've tried to mix it up a little bit with some like fantasy, some sci-fi, thrillers, horror, a few different things to try and keep my interest up, because I do find when I read more of a variety in a month and don't get stuck on one genre, I do tend to have a better time with it, and I tend to be more refreshed going into the next book. So yeah, I'll let you know how this goes. I'll talk to you again just before Dewey's 24-hour readathon. I might do a TBR video for that as well in a couple of weeks. Thank you for watching this video. I'll be back soon with my September wrap up, so please do like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Leave an emoji if you can't think of anything else to say, and I'll speak to you all in the next one. Bye!